Now, Stacy, this letter went out to 14,000 homes across Wisconsin. It says important info regarding your water line. The water company says it is not a scam, but you may want to think twice before signing anything. With these two big companies, both Lockheed Martin and Marinette Marine, being in the same city, the testing of these big ships is about to get a lot more productive. Although you're on the water, inspectors say drinking and boating can have the same implications as drinking and driving. A typical sturgeon spawning season is expected to last anywhere from 7 to 10 days. But with the way the weather's been, the DNR says this season could be as short as 4 days. Now, as you can see, Casey, the street is lined with cars behind me as people go in and out of Eisenhower Elementary. And with 95% of the student body either on free or reduced lunch, it's no wonder groups came together to fund this food pantry. Although the Fox River is just beginning to crest, locals tell me this is nothing. But at just 13 feet, you can already see this bench is almost entirely underwater. Water quality experts say if you go in waist deep and can't see your feet, then you should not swim there. It's an alarming trend many aren't aware of: geotagging. Pictures uploaded to the web from your phone can give away where you live, who you hang out with, and even your favorite places. Now, Wisconsin Street is still blocked off today, but the fire chief tells me last night there were wires coming out of this house, which potentially could have been explosives. And in a situation like that, the fire department says they proceed with much caution. Some farmers have lost almost 2/3 of their crops, and the little they can plant is almost a month behind schedule. Like this corn crop, which should be up to my knees right now, barely hits my ankles. There are ways to shut this off, though. On an iPhone, you have to go under Settings, hit Privacy, and turn off the camera tracking as well as Facebook and Twitter if you don't want those. On an Android, just go under Settings, under Location, and turn those off.
It's our big story at 6.
It says don't land here. It's the wind just picked up and it's starting to rain.
The owner of Skydive Adventures in Omro speaking out today after a risky jump that ended with this skydiving instructor losing his life in Lake Butimore. The company's owner says it's a jump that never should have happened. NBC 26's Raquel Lamal is live at 6 with new details.
Stacy, when the storm started rolling in on Tuesday, the owner of the skydiving business says they tried to call the jumpers back, warning them conditions were not safe, a warning that wasn't followed. Bill Hassenfuss is the owner of Skydive Adventure in Omro.
That storm looked like it was coming faster than we thought it was.
He says Paul Olson was an expert skydiver with over 5,000 jumps and even owned his own business.
He could do 10, 12 tandems in one day, and if there's a little break or anything, he'd go up and do a fun jump.
Yet, when the storms rolled in, Hassenfuss thought they should call off the jump.
And I actually radioed up to the airplane and told him to abort the jump.
But Olson felt he could do it, even though Hassenfuss says he told them to land in Oshkosh because the weather had gotten bad at their landing spot in Omro.
I drove over to Oshkosh to pick him up, thinking Paul was still in the airplane, and the pilot said they jumped.
Hassenfuss says the passenger who did the tandem jump with Olson said everything was fine until they started swimming to shore.
The passenger explained they landed in the lake together. They unbuckled, got out of the harness, started swimming for shore. But when he reached a weed bed, he looked around and Paul wasn't there.
Hassenfuss says all he can do now is wait for the police to conclude their investigation into what exactly went wrong. To Hassenfuss, Olson was like family and will be greatly missed. At Skydive Adventure, Hassenfuss is continuing tandem jumps. He says that's the way Olson would have wanted it. Raquel Lamal, NBC 26.